Hey guys, I am excited for this one today. This video has the potential to be the dumbest thing I've done on the channel so far. But not the dumbest thing I plan to do, so smash that subscribe button. You know what really grinds my gears? When artists, and I don't mean musical artists, I mean like art artists, like drawers. It drives me crazy when these artists use sheet music in their artworks because they don't take the time to learn anything about sheet music before including it in their masterpiece. Today we're going to be looking at examples of mostly like Hobby Lobby art and ways that they include musical notation in their piece of art, but just that would be a little too easy. I'm taking it to the next level. And the next level is making real bona fide frickin' music out of dots randomly scattered on a staff. I'm gonna need some coffee for this one. Let's get weird with music. Alright, let's get the coffee going. Come on, start. Alright, while I gotta wait for my coffee to brew anyway, I think we need to go over the rules. Rule number 1. I must play all of the notes and rhythms portrayed on the artwork exactly as it is written. However, I can harmonize it however I see fit. Rule number 2. The pitches and rhythms exactly as written on the artwork must be the melody of my piece. I know it's going to be very tempting for me to just turn this into some like weird textural run, put it way in the back of the mix, and then have whatever I want melody over it, which would make this too easy. Rule number 3, the pitches and rhythms of the artwork must be looped with no more than one measure of rest in between them, and the completed song must be
at least 30 seconds long.
Rule number 4, the melody played as portrayed on the artwork must be played on an actual instrument, not a computer synthesized instrument. The harmonies, however, can be played on anything, synths, reel, this counter. Let's look at picture numero 1. Hey, so you guys remember Josh, right? The possum guy? Oh, possum! This is a piece of art that is hanging on his wall in his old room at his parents' house. Okay, so the first thing we really gotta figure out, what time signature is this even in? Let me explain my process really super duper fast. Alright, let's talk time signatures. A time signature is a set of numbers that gives you insight on how you're supposed to interpret a rhythm. So imagine you have this set of notes. Which notes are strong beats? Which notes are weak beats? Which are more or less important? Is that a time signature? We don't know. Let's look at the most common time signature, 4/4. I'm amazed sometimes that I even passed kindergarten with handwriting like that. Anyway, so the bottom number tells us that we're dealing in quarter notes, and the top number tells us that there's going to be 4 of them. See, this is 1/4, this is 2/4, this is 3/4, and this is 4/4. Music's not always that cut and dry. Look at this example of eighth notes. If you haven't already figured it out, 2/8 is 1/4, so this could still be a measure of 4/4. So let's look at the piece of music we're working with today. Out of all the notes that we have here, the one with the smallest amount of value is an eighth note, so I'm going to go ahead and put an 8 at the bottom. Next, every eighth note is 1, every quarter note is 2, and we just count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is a measure of 13/8. That's all for this example, but if the top and bottom have multiples in common, then you have the option to simplify it like a fraction and see if that works better for your song. I'm just gonna let this sink in a minute. This is a measure of 13/8. See, these little folds in the staff right here and here kind of, to me, look like measure markers. Making this a measure of 3/8, a measure of 7/8, and another measure of 3/8. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. I think that's kind of gonna be our vibe for this. Now let's figure out the notes. I don't read standard notated music very often, so y'all about to see me struggle. A, E, G. Some of these notes aren't even on viable places in the staff. This is what an F is supposed to look like. This is what a G is supposed to look like. This is like between those. It's like 3/4 in the F space. So I'm gonna call that A, E, F. So that would make this note right here a G. But now, I'll call that one an E, and that way that E jumps up half step to this F right here, giving us a nice like leading tone movement. Sort of. Here is this piece of music right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. I kind of want to speed that up just a little bit more. Unexpected twist! This sounds actually pretty dope. If I had to sum this song up in one sentence, it would be my ear had a sweet tooth. If you want to think of this song as being in alternating measures of 3 and 7, or you want to think of it as being in 13, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're both very hard to groove with. There's a reason dance clubs don't play in 13. I kept trying different drum grooves, different instrumentations, different harmonies, and nothing was working. Everything just sounded like this big mess of chaotic energy. And then I realized EDM's got me covered. Ear candy. Producers like to add sounds that are thrown into songs because they are pleasing for your ears to listen to. Hence, ear candy. And I absolutely flooded this song with this kind of stuff. So now we're going down the road of digital music. I just had to give the song a trap beat. And for those of you who are curious, this is what Stravinsky would have sounded like if he would have pursued a rap career. Now with all that said and done, after fooling with this for like a week, I finally come to the conclusion. This should have just stayed wall art. So I named it accordingly. One done. Moving on to number 2. I've got to try to be at least marginally quiet right now because Tuesday is in the other room working on her homework and I don't want to distract her too much.
Yeah, just a moment.
Alright, now we got a birthday card with some sheet music on it. Let me grab my guitar. Let's figure out our time signature. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so we're in 11-8 with this one. 11-8 can be grouped into 3 beats of 3 and 1 beat of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1. Of course, this leaves you with a few options of where to put the grouping of 2. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Luckily, in this birthday card, it gives us a pretty clear indication of where they want the grouping of 2 to go. A eighth note and a quarter note, right? So that's your first grouping of 3. So we'll move it over 1, and that works perfectly because you have this quarter note right here, that's your 2 beats, and then another quarter note here to start your second grouping of 3. The notes are G, and then down an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2. This is kind of hard, actually. I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If I had to describe this one in a sentence, it would be Lo-Fi Anime Girl decided to study in a smoky bar room. So here's the thing, when I was writing this song, it took me forever to be able to feel the groove. It just felt like random notes being played one after the other at random intervals, both time intervals and, intervals. But after lots and lots of repetition and experimenting with different guitar tones, I finally found that I could make this sound really, really bluesy. I decided to lean into that with some really slowful? Cut! Let's try that again. I decided to lean into that with some slow. Cut! Take 3. I decided to lean into that with some slow, soulful drums. And for the harmonies, I went with a really simple, easy listening blues. Honestly, this song makes me want to start smoking cigars. So then I went in to mix this song, and I kept finding myself reaching for like arpeggiators. Then I kept finding myself unable to resist the temptation to reach for these vinyl lo-fi plugins. I didn't really want to go overboard with it, but that made this song Lo-Fi AF. Finally, as I got the song off of a birthday card, so I wanted to go in a happy birthday direction, but the song is also very stupid, so I wanted to go in a very stupid direction. So I just titled it BAM! Just like that, it's tomorrow. Time for us to look at another very stupid thing. Here's one that I found in my wife's old scrapbook from when she was a child. This was probably put together in like 2012. It's a little bit outdated. Those of you with really keen eyes might notice a hand in this picture. That is Tuesday covering up the fact that she had misspelled the word clarinet and didn't want anybody to know. But now you do. This one right here is probably my favorite of all of them that I found because the people who put this one together were so kind to include a time signature for us. We know that we're playing in 3/4. However, they were not kind enough to make this measure a measure of 3/4. We're actually playing in 5/8 as evidenced by 5/8 notes. Luckily 5/8 as far as odd time signatures go is not that uncommon. I think just for shiggles we're going to play this one on the keyboard, which is going to be especially fun because I don't really know how to play the keyboard. Cheers. All right. Hold up. This is not an instrument that I'm comfortable with, so you're just gonna have to bear with me a little bit. Alright, and we've already run into an issue. I think I'm gonna interpret that first eighth note as an F and the second one as a G, because the first one does seem a little bit lower. So typically when you're playing in 5, you want to split it into a grouping of 3 and a grouping of 2. So either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And it depends on the song which of those you're going to choose. The way this is written, it seems to want me to go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. But when playing it on time signatures, I try to avoid groupings of 1. If I was just going to include groupings of 1, then I would just call this 5 groupings of 1 and count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which completely defeats the purpose of having groupings in the first place. So, I think I'm just going to say that that unbarred eighth note is meant to be in a grouping with the first 2 barred eighth notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hold up! Whoops. That top note is not an F, that is an E. So it's actually... my mouse and my keyboard's going over here with me. This may look like a table, but it's actually a cajon. Nope. Sloppy. Sloppy, 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 sloppy. I don't need to be playing no sloppy. It's got the slop. I don't like the slop. Sloppy. I have decided that I'm just gonna play one hand at a time. New method. I think there is a moral lesson to be learned here. When there is a will, there is a way. But when there is a stupid will, there is a stupid way. In a sentence, this song is dangerously close to breaking Rule 2. So here's the thing. This melody is a very short melody, and it spans almost an octave. So the biggest challenge to this one is making it not sound like a texture. Even with this as the loudest voice in the piece, it still just felt like a texture. So here's the melody here. And to make it a little bit more pronounced, I doubled it. And then I doubled it yet again with a guitar. And with all of those playing simultaneously, it finally almost didn't sound like a texture. As I was making the song, I just couldn't get it out of my head that the song was specifically labeled as being in 3/4, and I was playing it in 5/8. It was bothering me. It really, really was. So I decided to dedicate the first half of this song to polymeter. For those of you who don't know what polymeter is, it's when the drummer is being a big bubble blowing baby and doesn't want to play in the same time signature as everybody else. That's polymeter. So I went ahead and let the drums play in 3/4. 3, 1, 2, 3. While the melody sounds messy. I know. So I recorded an entire segment of me explaining the harmony to this song, but that was really boring to watch. So instead, I'm gonna give you the 10-word rundown. that I didn't think of in advance. The chords don't match the melody, and that's fine. Potato. I got the song written, recorded, mixed, and it just kept sounding weird and disconnected. And I needed some thread that connected all of these seemingly unrelated tracks together. And so I remembered this plugin right here. Valhalla Supermassive. It's a delay effect that is completely off the wall. What's cool about the Valhalla Supermassive is it has all these preset modes in here named after star signs. So you have Gemini, Capricorn, Sagittarius. So to make the song a little bit more personal to me, I went and used my star sign, the Great Annihilator. It's still going. If you put it way down in the mix, it just turns into raw energy. And somehow, that was the thing this song needed. Enjoy, scrap the book. Hey, subscribe!